Press play. There's the magic finger. Pressing down. Yeah.
The Wrestling Club with Darren and Brett. We've got a show that you'll never forget.
I'm going to call an audible.
What's your audible?
Press play. There's the magic finger. Pressing down. Yeah.
The Wrestling Club with Darren and Brett. We've got a show that you'll never forget.
Greetings, Grapple fans, and welcome to WFMU's Wrestling Club, the only space that's safe for all wrestling fans, whether you're casual, lapsed, obsessed, or ashamed. My name's Darren. I'm broadcasting in the beautiful McGinley Square district of Jersey City, New Jersey, the city that's more Jersey than any other city. And I'm joined via satellite by the ZA to my Taichi. Yes, I said it. Mr. Hollywood himself, the bad boy of Beverly Hills, Brett Davis. Brett, hello. Are you okay over there?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm very far from Beverly Hills, but
I don't know where it is. I don't know. If it's not Jersey City, then it's nothing to me as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I will point out that Darren, after a blissful day yesterday of being offline, Darren sent me what looked like a photo of Mantar, taking a tour in Washington.
Yeah, the newest member of the Forgotten Sons, coming soon to the NXT midcard.
Buffalo King. I'm looking forward to it. So, you know, if we sound a little exhausted, it's because we're filming this the day after the siege, the coup. So none of us slept.
No,
but we do have a guest, and I'm so excited about it. It might raise the spirits here. She is a writer, wrote a really great piece that we're going to read in a little bit, where Tony Soprano goes to WWF Raw. Please welcome Colette Arrand.
Hey, how's it going?
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Arrand.
Oh yeah, Aaron.
Arrand.
Yeah.
See, we're both from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Your Soprano piece, like an Italian guy taking his kid to Continental Airlines Arena is very much like when my uncle would take me there. And being the only male influence in my purview, and then talking to my mom, being like, "Oh, it's okay, you know, you could see boobs." So.
Yeah, that does sound about like what that would have been like in the '90s for sure.
Like it was autobiographical.
Yeah,
Somehow you nailed it.
Thank you.
That is to come. We'll also have Nick Naney joining us. If you want to follow us on social media, we're at wrestling_club_ on Twitter, Wrestling Club WFMU on Instagram, and you could talk to us in the chat if you're watching live, and we'll read your tweets live on air or whatever it is, your chats.
And if you want to call the hotline and join the club tonight, 732-200-CLUB. That's 732-200-CLUB.
We're talking wrestling.
Yeah. That's it. Don't prank us.
So, Colette, you are a writer, and you often write about wrestling. I found out about you through Double Threat.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I was like, who is this? And then you're part of this great group of people that we are bringing on to Wrestling Club. People that write intelligently and very funny pieces about wrestling. You wrote a great piece about 2020 in wrestling, and people might want to check it out. Could you summarize it?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, wrestling in 2020 was dominated by like the pandemic. It was impossible to ignore, and because wrestling didn't stop at all, like it had to kind of adjust on the fly, and it started running shows that were audience free. Like now that we're in 2021 and like in late 2020, like AEW and NXT started running like limited crowd shows. But for the majority of the year, we were watching wrestling in what was essentially a vacuum. And like what this piece does is acknowledge how like weird and empty the experience was a lot of the time. Like there's a lot of moments that stand out. There's a fair number of good matches that happened during like what I guess we're going to wind up calling the pandemic era. But it's hard to watch. Like it's hard to imagine going back and rewatching much of it. And like I kind of try to get into why. A lot of it is like with like audience surrogate type stuff like the Thunderdome, and like I talk a little bit about the setup of the Mike Tyson Roy Jones Jr. boxing match and how that kind of like succeeded in making it possible to ignore that this was happening during a pandemic in a way that like wrestling kind of failed to do. And yeah, it's kind of like a study of like how acoustics work, like what fake crowd noise does to a match, and like kind of what I think it must be like to perform for nobody, but also an audience of millions at the same time.
Yeah, you could check that article out on FanByte on FanByte.
Yeah,
I always mess that up. I'm glad I got it right.
Yeah, it's the wrestling section of fanbyte.com, FanByte. So like if you go to fanbyte.com/wrestling, you should be able to find it pretty quick.
Yeah. Former guest Emily Pratt writes on FanByte too. Yeah. So this weekend was not an empty arena, a smaller than usual crowd at the gigantic Tokyo Dome. It was Wrestle Kingdom. Darren, you're the big New Japan expert of the two of us. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
what'd you think of what you saw?
I enjoyed it. I mean, it's nice to feel like you're watching a wrestling show that doesn't necessarily take place in 2020. You know what I mean? Like it didn't completely feel like a pandemic wrestling show. I mean, people aren't, shrieking except when, the Takahashi falls on his head or whatever, and people are just or Ibushi, whatever, horrified. But it's mostly it mostly felt like a real show. It felt like a real Wrestle Kingdom. Besides the fact that the undercard maybe was a little thin. The Rumble was a little thin. There was no surprises, but the top matches were great. Jay White is on another planet compared to everybody else. I talk about a guy that's improved so much. Just this year alone, I think when he came back after like the pandemic happened, and I don't think he could get into Japan, or he wasn't around in New Japan for a while until around G1, and he's just upped his game so much. It was fun. I liked it. Yeah. I fell asleep through each show, unfortunately, because I was like, I'm gonna stay up and watch it. And then like I smoked weed, and then the next thing I know, it's like the end. I would wake up in whenever the main event got huge, whenever it was like peaking, that would wake me up. So I saw the end of every match. That was good. I didn't wake up for the Sonata and Evil match because it probably was boring to me. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. What about you? Did you like it, Brett? You watched it.
I watched it. I can't say I was completely awake for all of it, but the undercards were a little weak. But the top matches on each night over delivered. Kota Ibushi, the beautiful Dolphin, is now the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Put on two great, very different matches,
and the Intercontinental Champion as well. He's the double champion.
Yeah, the Warrior, I like to call it. And Jay White, I was never been the biggest Jay White fan, but really kind of came over. The other thing I did was I was feeling so great after that main event that I was like, you know what? I am hungry for more. So I sampled a little bit of every Japanese promotion. I watched. We watched Stardom together. Got to see Gokigen Death, my favorite wrestler, and some fun stuff. I watched Tokyo Joshi Pro in a very like small all-purpose room, but Yuka Sakazaki and Maki Ito. I've been vocal about being a huge fan of both of them, and found some new people I like. I watched Dragon Gate. The first match was Ultimo Dragon came out, and I was like, oh man, he's kind of put on some weight, and it was fine. And I was like, oh, he's like been wrestling for what, like 30 years now,
Just about.
and then I keep watching the show, and then Ultimo Dragon comes out, and he looks great. And I think what happened was I confused Ultimo Dragon for Bokigo Dragon or something.
Okay.
One of those like Antonio Koinokis where
Uh-huh.
he's just like kind of heavy, like sloppy.
Yeah.
Ultimo Dragon. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's not the story. Also, they have a stable called Masquerade. And they wear like masquerade masks and do like a dramatic like removal, like Phantom of the Opera, that sort of thing. And that's my shit. Nick Naney can tell you about that later. I watched All Japan. I watched Noah. Interesting stuff. But a little homogenous sometimes. But yeah, I got the whole Whitman sampler.
Well, it's good you got that because Japanese wrestling will be over any day now because they're about
that's
to.
right.
Oh, it's done. Yeah.
Oh, Kevin Kelly is stranded until
No.
summer. Yeah, he's not going to see his family for a while.
I heard he missed Christmas.
He did. Yeah, he missed Christmas. He's going to miss Easter too.
Oh, he would have had to have quarantined. That's right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Colette, did you see any of Wrestle Kingdom?
I saw all of the Toru Yano content.
Cool.
Best wrestler in the world, Toru Yano.
Yeah.
King of professional wrestling.
No disrespect when I say the undercard was bad. Toru Yano is always a highlight.
He's the king.
Mhm.
So great. I mean, you know what? It really was. They did like the Royal Rumble finish that we all thought of when we were 10.
Yeah.
And they eliminated everybody, and then he comes out and he's the winner by default. Well, I guess it was the last.
Good.
It was great.
Yeah, he had every single one of his gimmicks too. Like he had his marathon stash and his DVD and his water bottle and his like fancy kimono and like his trophy from 2020. Yeah, now he's rocking the Owen Hart, like the two trophies at once.
Yeah.
Talk about a dream match. Toru Yano and Owen Hart. Like, give me 60 minutes in the Dome.
Yeah, give me that, and then like a triple threat match with like fellow 2 trophy holder Sami Zayn in there too. All trophies on the line, and then you give Toru Yano all of those trophies, like 1990s Ultimo Dragon with all the belts.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great.
We also had Legends Night on Raw.
Okay, pass. I didn't see it. I'm not watching it.
Why? You missed out on Tatanka not saying anything.
Yeah.
I did see the Village people got back together.
The Village people got back together. There's a great segment with Tatanka and like Mickey James like cowgirled up and IRS and Angel Garza in like the Lothario mode. There's also a segment, and I just described this to Darren to tell him what he was missing, where Angel Garza tried to hit on Tori Wilson. Tori Wilson said that Cardi B is there, and he should go hit on her. Then Angel Garza walked in on the Boogeyman, who was coming to get you, and then he ran out in fear and got pinned by R-Truth for the 24/7 title in the most like bad WWE. And I like the Boogeyman. Don't get me wrong, but that's all you do.
It's all, honestly, that's all you need is the Boogeyman. Get rid of the rest of it. If it was like Legends Night, the Boogeyman, I'll tune in. If I know the top pushed, the most pushed legend of the night is going to be Tatanka. Not Tatanka. Is going to be Boogeyman, and throw Mickey James in there too because that's funny. I'm watching.
Yeah, but spread them out.
Yeah.
Don't bring in Alicia Fox and just stand there or whatever. Yeah. Melina was like Lucha, like ugh. It's just exemplified everything bad about WWE.
How was Sad Terry? I heard the guys backstage don't like him so much.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the show that I did not watch was Hulk Hogan saying that he did not understand why a roster full of like people of color did not like the guy who was a racist.
Well, you know, it's just they're scared of they're scared. I'm gonna take their spot, brother. You know, dude.
There's still business to do, brother. But
there was a he cut a promo on Keith Lee.
Oh,
and
good.
I just got a little scared for a second.
At least he wasn't. At least they didn't give him a trombone and send him out with a New Day.
Honestly, would have been better than like
Hey, you're the next Hulk Hogan, brother. You got it.
you should have given Xavier Woods his American flag guitar from the Real American video.
oh, yeah.
You know what? You're right.
Remember when he gave Abyss his Hall of Fame ring and Abyss got Hulk Hogan powers?
That'd be amazing if he gave away the guitar and Xavier Woods got like Metallica powers because Hogan once claimed that he was going to be a member of Metallica.
Yeah. You know what? I think from here on out, we should only refer to Hulk Hogan as TNA's Hulk Hogan.
TNA's Hulk Hogan, yeah. TNA legend Hulk Hogan.
The show ended with Goldberg making a big return to challenge Drew McIntyre. Goldberg is very old and has done this a bunch of times now.
And he's the second best wrestler in the world after Toru Yano. He's so good.
So I didn't even realize Goldberg came out. Did they bring Gage out? Is Gage there?
So Gage, if you're unfamiliar with this new run of Goldberg, when he has a big moment, he brings his son Gage out. Gage, kind of like a pudgy kid who always takes his shirt off. Always. And then like Goldberg throws him up on his shoulder and like Gage celebrates. Gage, a few years have passed now. Gage could have had a growth spurt. He's around that age. And we've been seeing a negative one. The son of Brody Lee is now in a feud with Marco Stunt on AEW.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Great.
Yeah.
Love it. I think the dream match is -1 versus Gage Goldberg.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the big inter-promotional match.
But Brett, you're forgetting Nicholas. Nicholas is he was a champion.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess
WrestleMania undefeated streak.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, I'm saying more wrestling children. I'm saying get this under 12 crew in there.
Bring back the YWF.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Youth Wrestling Federation that I think Brian Alvarez was part of.
Yeah.
Or the one that was like the Stampede offshoot with like young Teddy Hart and Tyson Kidd and Natalia.
Oh no.
That look out for our like 2000 year in review episode because I'll have a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
Bullet Club's back, I guess, on AW. Or to be excited about it because of all the chaos yesterday.
Yeah, the Bullet Club is back.
Yeah.
I will say Omega versus Rey Fenix was an amazing match. Like if y'all haven't had a chance to check it out yet, you totally should. It's one of those things where like Phoenix, when he gets like a big singles match, like makes an argument for himself as like one of the best wrestlers of all time, like in a serious sense. Like he is crazy good. Like it is ridiculous. And that match was awesome. Like it was just 17 minutes and they did not stop for anything. Like perfect television match. Loved every minute of it.
Mm-hmm.
Rey Fenix is, the Sabu of 1995, the Rey Mysterio of 1997, just somebody who's going to do things I didn't think you could do that don't make sense physically or like, I don't know. It's just, he's unbelievable to watch. And yeah, his singles matches are great. I wish he had more of them. But yeah, it was a fantastic match. He's a better high flyer than Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, the Dio Double Jizzle made his AEW Dizzle Bew to promote the weird Burt Kreischer show that I will never watch. I don't know if you know Burt Kreischer. He is a comedian who's like with this show is he's like, just I'm insane and I'm a dude and whatever. But I learned that he is the inspiration for Van Wilder.
Thanks, Brett.
Yeah.
None
Just a fun little trivia fact for you.
more breaking news on Wrestling Club.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Snoop Dogg jumped off the top rope and it looked really weird.
Yeah.
We finally found a worker worse than you, Brett.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's a grandpa too. Like, don't make him jump off the top rope.
Yeah, and it's sneakers. Like, I was really worried. I was more worried about him climbing to the top than I was about him getting down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was coming down one way or the other.
Yeah.
He jumped onto Serpentico, who I don't even know if he has a contract or why he was really there. I guess there's some dark feud that's happening. But it's like, I don't know. It's fine. It's Snoop Dogg. So, and speaking of Snoop Dogg, here's the bad boy of today. Nick Naney's joining us.
Oh my God. We're on the set of Blu-ray Talk. I can't believe it.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. Am I live?
You're live.
I don't know if you're live yet. Let's check with the man upstairs, Isaiah, our producer. Is Nick Naney live with us? No.
No. Good. Well, we'll edit this out. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
Edit that.
Great.
Yeah, you're not gonna be. It's fine. But
this was an unforeseen circumstance. Yeah, that's the week in wrestling. Interesting one.
sure. Sure. Yeah, it was great. What's coming up this week, Brett? Anything coming up? Is it like Battleground or something? No, Rumble's coming.
They've got the New Year's Evil show with the guy who stares and
That
draws
just happened,
pictures.
yeah.
Oh,
I was gonna say NXT also happened, but
There he is.
oh.
Nick Naney joining Wrestling Club. Welcome to the club.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going, everybody?
Doing
It's
great.
good. Nick, what is your relationship to professional wrestling?
Well, I feel like I've always been in the suburbs of wrestling. I've always had friends who were into it. I remember when I was in third grade, I had a friend who had like a toy wrestling ring in his basement, and he would always want to do that. And I'd be like, well, why don't we play like Star Wars or something? And no, he wanted to pin me. And then I started doing stand-up comedy, and now I have more people in my life than I've ever imagined that are into wrestling.
Yeah, that's a telling stat.
I thought these people would fade away from my life, but now stand-up comedy has cemented that wrestling is here to stay as a fixture of my life. And now there are, now I know names like Paul Bear and, other names of that ilk that just are in the ether of my mind from just knowing people that are afflicted by this phenomenon.
I mean, it's telling that you know more wrestling fans from a comedy community than you did from like an elementary school.
Right. Yeah.
When it is still a show really for children.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that you do know well is The Sopranos. You've put on several live stage productions of The Sopranos around New York.
Mm-hmm. With Mary Houlihan.
Mary Houlihan, who's great, and with an all-star cast of great comedians. What are some of the Sopranos adventures that people have missed out on if they weren't there live?
Well, some of the episodes we've done include when Tony wanted to connect with AJ, so him and the guys snuck backstage at a Slipknot concert and then performed as Slipknot and did a song about respecting your father. There was the episode where Tony was having nightmares about Spider-Man, and Melfi used an Inception machine to get in Tony's mind. And when they found out that Spider-Man was actually Osama bin Laden, who had infiltrated Tony's mind. And what else happened? There was the Hawaiian Adventure episode where Tony he kind of came face to face with the Hawaiian mob boss Joey Macadamia. And I think that one ended with the whole Sopranos family on a surfboard together. So that was yeah. You know,
Well,
these are like
do-
lost scripts.
These are just things that you found through your
This
research.
is actually one of the shirts I wear when I play Tony.
Yeah, I have a similar shirt, and Darren always says it's the Tony Soprano shirt, and then I feel bad wearing it.
It's very comfortable, you know.
It looks comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, this is a bit more of a grounded adventure. So, Colette, what inspired you to create this this tale that we're going to jump into?
So I watched The Sopranos for the first time and the second time and the third time last year. Like I don't know why, but everyone was doing it. And to me, like some of my favorite parts of that show as someone who was like 11 when it came on was like watching how it made like acknowledgments towards like actual real culture that was going on at the time. I think that like the most famous one is like AJ and Tony playing Mario Kart. Like, you know, that's like one of the all-time good scenes in anything. So I wanted more of that. And I figured that like, given that AJ loves Nintendo and nu metal, like there's no way that he wouldn't have at one point in time, like either begged to go to WWF or had Tony get like the misguided idea that he should take his son to a wrestling show.
Yeah,
So,
he's got the Warzone cartridge probably,
Yeah.
or at least his friends do.
Yeah.
You know, he's made himself in the game for sure. He's at least Intercontinental Champion.
Doesn't he wrestle Paul Dano in an episode?
He is going to, but then they all remember that AJ is Tony's son, and they don't want to get like hurt by the mob. So, yeah, like I think it was going to be like a fight at the dugout or something, like stereotypical high school stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I
mean, Colette, you're in Athens. By the way, you're welcome. Us big
Yeah.
city folk.
Yeah.
Throwing in our live streams
yeah.
and stuff to save your state.
We appreciate it. You know, we you know, finally after years of being told that you would come to our help, you did so.
Yes. But you know, Darren and Nick and I, we grew up in Sopranos mania.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember when multiple episodes of The Sopranos were front page news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Or like waking up in the morning and like they're talking about it on the Z Morning Zoo, like who got whacked.
I remember that for sure. Like I grew up in Detroit, so like my Georgia experience is not quite like it's all adult. But yeah, The Sopranos I remember mostly as like when it went to A&E and they were like showing commercials of it on A&E that like clipped out all of the swear words.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my only experience of it for like 10 years. But yeah, like I can't imagine like showing up on the front page of the newspaper. That must have been something else.
And I do have a Sopranos wrestling connection. I went to a wrestling show at a high school that my former middle school teacher, who I didn't personally have, but he taught in my middle school, Tito Santana, was wrestling at. And King Kong Bundy was on the show, hit on my mom, which was upsetting. And you know, I there were some other like local guys. I remember like maybe Gino Brito was there, and like the Kodiak Bear. This is really racking my brain. It was an ECPW show.
Oh, great. ECP dub. ECP dub.
Yeah, at some high school, and there was a big hubbub. My sister was there too, and my sister was all excited because Furio was there.
Oh my God.
That would be the best.
Wow.
And, you know, suddenly the attention was drawn from the ring to this man in this Italian leather. with this beautiful ponytail.
Yeah.
I took a picture of him, even though I didn't know who he was at the time. So yeah,
PA'd on a short film he directed in like 2009, and I was like freaking out the whole time.
How
Very
is
nice
he?
guy.
Very nice.
And then I ran into him at Sopranos Con 2 years ago, and I like
To him there.
and I was like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember, I PA'd on your shitty short film." And he was like, "I remember your face," and then he kept moving through this crowd of people that were all trying to talk to him. It was great.
Here's
Yeah, and any quick takeaways before we jump in of Sopranos Con?
Oh my God. It happened. I went to, it happened like very soon after my wedding. And, it was just like, I hesitate to say, because of that reason, I hesitate to say it was one of the best days of my life. But it really was a magical experience. And I was super excited for Sopranos Con 2020.
same.
Which for some reason didn't happen this year. I don't know what happened. Maybe they couldn't get all the mozzarella they needed. Yeah, but it was great. It's hard to describe.
Well, we're gonna jump into this. There are some surprises that I won't spoil, but I will be portraying Carmela and Christopher and a few other people. And Nick, you'll be playing Tony Soprano and Paulie Walnuts. Darren will be AJ Soprano and Silvio Dante. And there are some more surprises. And Colette, can you narrate your beautiful piece of work?
I'd be glad to.
Wonderful.
Here we go. You're right.
All right. Tony
And you
Soprano,
can find all this on FanByte. Sorry.
Yes, yeah. Tony Soprano sits at the breakfast bar of his kitchen, drinking a cup of coffee while he reads the paper. His wife, Carmela, is washing dishes and talking about something Tony doesn't know. He's distracted by an advertisement in the sports pages, his eyes lit up like a boy with an ice cream sundae. Carmela notices.
Tony, were you listening to me at all?
Yeah, yeah. I was just distracted is all. The paper.
Their son, AJ, trundles down the stairs. As usual, he looks sad. Tony looks over his shoulder and sees this, but he doesn't have the right language for the sadness of others, so he pushes that aside.
AJ.
Hey, Mom.
Good morning, AJ.
I was just reading the paper here, thinking about how when I was your age, my old man used to take me to the matches.
The matches?
Yeah, the matches, wrestling. Your grandfather was a busy man, always worked nights. But when wrestling was in town, when Bruno Sammartino was in the main event, he'd take me to the garden or wherever and just bond, I guess, over the competition. Men punching and kicking each other, bleeding, steel cages. You know what I mean?
I don't like it, Tony.
And that's okay, because you're not going. But me and AJ, we've got a date tonight.
We do?
Yeah, we do. 8 o'clock. Continental Airlines Arena, World Wrestling Federation. Ever heard of it?
Tony shows AJ the ad in the paper. Steve Austin, The Rock, and D-Generation X glower above the details.
I've heard of it, Dad. It's just...
I'm telling you, I don't like it, Tony.
It's a father-son bonding thing, Carmela. I don't expect you to get it.
Oh, I get it perfectly. It's barbaric.
Barbaric what? The blood? There's more blood on the evening news, Carm.
Be that as it may, I was talking to Rosalie April yesterday, and she told me that some kid in Michigan broke his neck trying out those stunts. And I don't want AJ...
It doesn't matter. It's all fake anyhow.
Fake?
Yeah. Predetermined. It's not real.
Not real? So what you're telling me in my own house is that Bruno Sammartino, one of the greatest Italians who ever lived, was a phony world champion? That we should throw out his accomplishments and forget that we were ever proud of him, same as Christopher Columbus?
I don't even know who Bruno Sammartino is.
Carmela, the kid doesn't even know his own heritage.
When was I supposed to learn about wrestling?
Tonight.
But Dad...
What, you got a date tonight or something?
Actually...
It's canceled. Besides, They've got broads at this wrestling thing.
Tony!
What? It's healthy.
In the back of Satriel's pork store, Christopher Moltisanti, Paulie Walnuts, and Silvio Dante are picking at their lunches, shooting the shit. Paulie is his usual animated self, but what he's talking about is unusual. It's professional wrestling. Chris, something of a closeted fan of the sport, listens more attentively than he does when Paulie's on a bender about ancient history. Sil, for his part, looks uninterested.
When Bruno climbed that cage, Maron. The only thing that makes me more proud to be Italian is Columbus Day. There ought to be a statue of that man.
Columbus? There's lots of statues of him.
Bruno Sammartino.
I don't know, Paulie. A statue of a wrestler?
Why not? They got Joe Louis' big fucking fist hanging in Detroit. Why not put a statue of the living legend in New York?
He's from Pittsburgh or something.
Ah, fuck Pittsburgh. New York is where the man made his name, the Garden. What do you have against him?
He's just not my favorite, I guess.
Better than Bruno.
I always liked Dominic DeNucci.
DeNucci, he always lost.
He's a bit more realistic is all.
Realistic?
Yeah, realistic. Bruno, he's good, but he holds on to the world championship for years. Virtually undefeated. Nobody is better than him. Calls into question the legitimacy of the whole operation.
Legitimacy?
What Sil's trying to say is that it's fake, Paulie.
Fake?
That's not it exactly. But if you look at the guys in the ring, they're always stomping their feet when they're throwing punches. One time, I saw one of them cut their own forehead with a razor.
They call it blading.
Sick shit, Paulie. But when you think about it...
Nah, I don't need to think about it.
Tony enters the room, Bialy in hand.
Tone, Skip, you ought to hear what they're saying about Bruno Sammartino. Wrestling? Jesus, I already got an earful about how barbaric it is from Calm. And then AJ tells me it's fake. Him too? He says it's predetermined, like the NBA Finals or some shit. We live in dark times, Tone. Imagine questioning Bruno Sammartino.
All I said was I prefer Dominic DeNucci.
DeNucci? The bum?
He was tag team champion.
Yeah, with Bruno.
The new stuff blows the old stuff away.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, best thing on television. Adriana bitches about it. She thinks I'm into this broad sable, but I watch Raw every Monday.
Every Monday?
Unless I got something to do.
You think AJ would like it?
I don't know, T. AJ's a little more sensitive when it comes to violence.
What the fuck are you talking about? You ever try to listen to the music he's into? Cold Chamber, some shit? It's an assault.
Music's different. School shooting shit on Marilyn Manson, but I don't see how. Underneath all that distortion is just a bunch of guys moaning about it. It's not like Sad Virgins to get all violent on account of mass media.
Probably because he's got all the kids. Probably because he's got the kids called confused, getting his ribs taken out so he can suck his own dick. He'd love it, T. That's good because I'm taking him to the show at the Meadowlands tonight. They got this guy, Cold Stone.
Stone Cold.
What?
It's Stone Cold.
What did I say?
You said Cold Stone. It's the other way around. Reverse it.
Like I was saying, this guy, Cold Stone, every week he beats the shit out of his boss.
I love that part.
Oh, you do?
Tony looks hard at Christopher, trying to determine if there's something more to his love of the Austin McMahon angle he's seen none of than just enjoying it.
It'll be good, T. Spend some time with your son. Have a good night.
Thanks, Sil. I think I will.
Tony gets up and leaves. The three men left in the room look at each other.
So we're going tonight, right?
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
It's all right.
Yeah, we could make it a work thing, Sil. You wouldn't believe how much they sell T-shirts for. We knock over a truck of that? We're talking a Pokemon score here.
You and Paulie handle it. I'm just not the right demographic for this shit anymore.
Demographic? You trying to imply something, Sil?
Nah, you're just young at heart.
Tell that to my doctor.
The Meadowlands Arena. Tony Soprano and AJ have front row seats, a gift from the arena management group on account of their relationship with the sanitation business. The arena is packed, thousands of people carrying signs and screaming.
This is great, eh, AJ?
I'm surprised how many people are here. Don't they know?
Don't start with that again. Between you thinking wrestling's fake and Artie yakking his head off about that Jamook Hogan, It's a miracle I was able to finish my dinner.
But you just got 2 hot dogs from the vendor.
You have to have a dog when you're at the arena, AJ. Indulge a little.
Tony offers one of the hot dogs to his son. AJ pushes it away.
Fine. 2 for me, then.
Elsewhere in the arena, Paulie and Christopher prowl the concourse.
Where are the broads?
What?
The women, Chrissy. The matches. They used to be women.
It's a man's game now. The 18 to 34 demo. Very valuable.
The fuck does any of that have to do with wrestling?
Fuck if I know. It's just what people talk about on the internet.
Fuck the fucking internet, Chrissy. In my day, you could barely hear yourself think the women were screaming so loud.
Christopher pats Paulie and points across the concourse. There's a WWF souvenir stand loaded with shirts, foam fingers, action figures, and other baubles bearing images of wrestlers.
That is what we're after.
They walk over to it, where they're immediately tended to by a clerk.
Can I help you with anything? Just looking.
Heh.
What?
Get a load of that shirt, Chrissy. APA. Always pounding ass. This is your great score? A crate of shirts for a couple of fanooks?
I wouldn't call them fanooks exactly.
Then why are they always pounding ass?
You know, women have asses you can pound too, Paulie.
It's unnatural. Either you're a fanook or you're a fanook in training.
Fine, so we won't take the APA shirts. Steve Austin, DX, guaranteed money.
DX? You mean the football jerseys that say suck it? And what are those guys sucking?
Each other's fucking cocks for all I care, Paulie. You want to score or do you want to score?
In the arena itself, booming pyro signals that the show is about to begin. Paulie looks at the APA shirt and looks towards the arena.
I'll consider it.
You have to consider it?
This ain't the wrestling I know, Chrissy. Word about this kind of thing gets to the wrong person, they'll be pounding your face into the pavement, believe me.
Tony and AJ stare in awe at the indoor fireworks display, rockets and bombs going off on the entryway. While he tries not to show it, the WWF's pyrotechnics have AJ all the way into the idea of the show, which begins right away with the swelling, oppressive chords of Vince McMahon's theme music, No Chance. The New Jersey crowd immediately begins chanting asshole at McMahon, who power walks to the ring by himself. In the upper bowl of the arena, Christopher and Paulie assess the chairman of the WWF.
What's with the way he walks?
Oh, Vince?
Who else? He walks like a Frankenstein with a switch up his ass.
Frankenstein's monster?
Huh?
You mean the monster, right?
The big green fuck.
Then say Frankenstein's monster.
You think I'm talking about his great-grandson over here? The fuck's the matter with you, Chrissy?
I just fucked it up in school is all. You don't forget those kinds of things.
My school days are long behind me, kid.
No kidding.
McMahon enters the ring, looking out over a crowd that is hungry for his blood. He takes the microphone from the ring announcer and waits for the crowd to quiet down. They do not. He looks like he's content to wait all night.
You forget his speech or something?
I'd like to welcome you all to Monday Night Raw! But since this is how you've chosen to greet me, I won't.
Fucking prick.
First, I'd just like to say that I'm not the word you're all chanting right now, and that the fact that you find it acceptable to do so on a globally broadcast entertainment juggernaut speaks to the low moral fiber of the people of New Jersey. Which comes as no surprise since you've chosen to live in a swamp.
Oh!
I have a few announcements I'd like to get out of the way, beginning with this. Stone Cold Steve Austin will not be in attendance tonight.
The crowd boos at this, few harder than Paulie Walnuts.
This is bullshit. Chrissy, let's get out of here.
Sit down, Paulie. Stone Cold to be here.
But you heard the man. If the boss says Cold Stone isn't here, Cold Stone isn't here.
It's all bullshit, Paulie. They probably got big chains on the arena doors or some shit, and Stone Cold would cut them with a big bolt cutter or something.
Oh?
Yeah, like Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd without the cross-dressing.
Now that would be a sight.
Second, tonight's Raw will feature not one, but two main events. That's right, tonight, in this very ring, The Rock will defend his WWF Championship against that deformed freak, Mankind.
The crowd roars for this.
In this match, there will be a special guest referee. Yours truly, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, chairman of the World Wrestling Federation.
Dad, is that fair?
I don't know, AJ. I mean, he's the owner of the company, so he's going to make the best decision for it, you know?
But he called Mankind a deformed freak. So that means he's gonna pick The Rock?
Maybe. You know I don't watch this shit.
How is that competitive, though?
Well, not every competition is fair, AJ. Some men are born to win. Some men are... You sure ask a lot of fucking questions for someone who thinks is predetermined.
And the New Age Outlaws will put their WWF Tag Team Championships on the line against Kane and The Undertaker. And that match begins now. Oh, you didn't know? Yours
McMahon,
better call somebody.
McMahon, looking pleased with himself, leaves the ring as the New Age Outlaws theme music hits, and Road Dogg Jesse James goes into his "Oh You Didn't Know" monologue. With each passing cuss word, AJ Soprano finds himself more and more captivated. Tony, squirming in his seat a little, hopes that Carmella isn't watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Generation X proudly brings to you its WWF Tag Team Champions of the World, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws.
And if you're not down with that, we've got 2 words for you.
Gunn holds the mic up to the crowd while he and Road Dogg deliver their customary crotch chops.
Suck it.
Look it.
Oh! The mouth on these people.
This is awesome.
The New Age Outlaws' entrance has nothing on the spectacle of Kane and The Undertaker, the Brothers of Destruction, who enter to the familiar tolling of The Undertaker's bell and the lights going out. Thousands of people in the Continental Airlines arena lift up lighters as the two walk through the fog and purple lighting towards the ring. Paulie Walnuts is not one of them.
They ain't right, Chrissy. They ain't natural.
Kane and The Undertaker? What's wrong with them?
Maron, look at him, kid. The Undertaker's a big zombie, and the guy in red walks around like Frankenstein's fucking monster. I'm telling you, it's not right.
The match happens the way you'd expect. Lots of punching and kicking, 4 men plotting around. Everybody in the arena, AJ included, is going nuts for it, but Tony's not too sure.
I don't get this.
Badass Billy Gunn just punched The Undertaker in the dick.
I don't care if it was badass Billy Gunn. I don't care if it was big mouth Billy Bass. You know, there used to be a science to this shit. 2 men actually fighting for something.
Punching and kicking is fighting.
No, I mean spiritually or whatever. Like, you know, grappling, wrestling.
Like the wrestling club at school?
Kind of. More punches and kicks, but kind of.
So they got rid of all the gay stuff and left us with this?
Hey, your mother don't like that kind of talk, and neither do I.
They talk like that all the time.
Difference between you and me being that I'm an adult, AJ. Maybe you can talk about what's gay and what's not gay when you know a thing or two about what is and isn't gay. Like when you're 45, maybe. It's like I let you cuss a little and all of a sudden you're making judgments on my childhood.
This serious conversation is interrupted by a gaggle of wrestlers, Vince McMahon's cronies in the corporation. They swarm the ring to attack both teams.
A fuck finish? Come on, it's just the tag belts.
What's a fuck finish?
Hey!
Both teams, exhausted from the match, get pummeled, but are bailed out by the aggro meathead chord progressions of the Acolyte Protection Agency, Bradshaw and Farouk. Paulie Walnut stands in belief at the 2 of them.
Those are the Fanooks?
They don't look like no Fanooks I'd ever seen.
What's the deal?
I don't know, Paulie. 2 guys that like to drink, play cards, and beat motherfuckers up for money.
They're in protection?
Whoever they got writing these things has it all wrong, but yeah, that's essentially it.
Irish?
Farouk sound like a country in Ireland to you?
Paulie turns to the ring in time to see Bradshaw hit a clothesline from hell, paired with the Farouk Dominator.
Yo! I've seen enough. I'm gonna get me a shirt, Chrissy.
Just one?
I'm thinking more like all of them.
Hold on. I'll join you.
It's main event time, WWF Championship on the line. Crash, the inventively named song that begins with an automobile accident, begins to play, bringing out Mankind. The fans go crazy for Mick Foley, which leaves Tony a little perplexed as he watches the man hobble down to the ring.
The people cheer for this Facha Bruta?
He's a man of the people, Dad. He's like us.
Yeah, the only us between me and him is when I was stuffing someone like him into the lockers or flushing the toilets on their face.
You're just like Mr. McMahon, Dad.
What, a proud, legitimate businessman?
Yeah, legitimate.
Still with his wrestling, his fake shit. The man may be Irish, but he deserves a little respect.
AJ watches as Mankind walks around the ring, slapping hands with everybody at ringside.
Do you think he'll high-five me?
Sure, why not? A guy like him could use a touch of class. Put your hand out.
AJ does so, but he and Tony are seated by the ring stairs. So when Mankind comes their way, he takes the stairs instead of completing his circuit.
Hey, what the fuck, Mankind? Come down here and slap 5 with my son. You slap everyone else's hand, but not my kid?
It's okay, Dad.
No, it's not. And if I see that freak in the parking lot after the show...
There's lots of parking lots.
Who knows about parking lots?
Val Venus is going to high-five me, but you wouldn't let him.
He's a pornographer, AJ. You don't know where his hands have been.
Probably on some girl.
Hey! What do you know about pornography?
I just hear the guys talking about it at school.
You swear?
I swear.
Because if you know more about pornography than those boys at school tell you and your mother finds out.
She'll take away my computer.
And Mario Kart.
That's hypocritical.
It's hypothetical. So unless you want me running a black light on your bed sheets like they do on the evening news...
Gross.
You're damn right it is. Now I'm going to get that freak to high-five you, or I'm going to make sure there are consequences. You're a soprano, AJ. Have a little respect.
The Rock's theme music starts, and he's accompanied to the ring by Vince McMahon, the special guest referee, and his corporate cronies, Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe. The Rock doesn't give a damn about the fans, obviously, so he and McMahon go straight to the ring steps to get this underway.
Hey, McMahon! Vince! Your employee there, the one in the tattered shirt? He didn't slap 5 with my boy. Real nice people you employ.
Vince McMahon, not knowing who is yelling at him, wordlessly scowls at Tony and gets in the ring.
This motherfucker, I swear!
The Rock Mankind match goes how you think it would. The Rock cheats his ass off while McMahon looks the other way, and every time Mankind gets an advantage, McMahon is quick to interject, allowing The Rock to take back over. AJ is totally involved in the match, his dad trying to calm down so that he can enjoy it with him, but he knows that if McMahon or Mankind came his way, he was going to have to teach them some manners. Finally, Mankind catches The Rock with his patented double-arm DDT, but he's exhausted and can't make the cover on a knocked-out Rock. With Vince McMahon alone in the ring, that's the cue for the glass to shatter and Stone Cold Steve Austin's music to hit, which it does to a reaction that's louder than an explosion.
There he is! Stone Cold!
Jesus Christ. Listen to these people. You think he was the Pope.
Austin saunters to the ring with a chair in hand, fear on McMahon's face. He tries to wake The Rock, but to no avail. Austin enters through the ropes, takes one look at Vince, and cracks him between the eyes with a chair. This is when The Rock gets up, and he gets a chair shot to the dome as well. With everybody out, Austin drags Mankind onto The Rock, takes up Vince's arm, counts to 3, and calls for the bell. The crowd roars for this, but Patterson is in the ring announcer Howard Finkel's ear.
I'm being told by WWF official Pat Patterson that due to the interference of Stone Cold Steve Austin, the winner of this match as a result of disqualification, and still the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Champion, The Rock.
That's a bad break for Mankind.
But it's not fair. The one guy cheated for The Rock the whole time.
That guy is the owner of the company. How many times do I gotta tell you? And while I might want to wring his neck for the way he looked at me earlier, this business is about respecting the boss.
As if to counter Tony, Austin takes the mic.
So what we've just been told is that Mankind isn't the world champion. That's too damn bad, but it doesn't change a damn thing. What Stone Cold Steve Austin came here to do tonight was to drink beer and open up a can of whoop-ass on Vince and The Rock's sorry asses. But since Mankind's waking up from his nap, maybe I should give him a prison. If you want to see Mankind shove that filthy sock down Vince McMahon's throat, then give me a hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
And if you want to see Stone Cold stun this Brahma Bull piece of trash straight to hell, and give me a hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Well, I guess that's the bottom line.
Mankind, to his feet now, pulls Mr. Sacco out of his pants.
Oh, jeez, what the fuck, a cocksock?
What's a cocksock?
Nothing. Stop asking so many questions.
Mankind and The Rock get to their feet as well. Austin lies in wait, flips off The Rock, and gives him the stunner. McMahon, doing a slow twirl Mankind's way, tastes Mr. Sacco. When Mankind finishes, McMahon is retching on the mat. Austin takes to the turnbuckles calling for a beer. He catches several from the air, throws a few to Mankind, and the two have a beer bash. Austin climbs the turnbuckles near Tony and AJ, smashes his cans together, and beer gets on Tony's jacket.
Hey, what the fuck?
The show over. Steve Austin and Mankind leave the ring and head backstage. McMahon and Rock get up slowly.
McMahon, you prick.
The two get out of the ring, The Rock without much notice, McMahon by walking past Tony.
Look at me when I'm talking to you, McMahon.
Or you'll what?
Or I'll what?
Is that all you people in New Jersey can do? Repeat yourself.
You motherfucker.
Quicker than Vince can account for, Tony grabs him by his referee shirt and punches him square in the nose.
Ah!
Security rushes to the scene, pulling Tony off Vince and out of the arena, but not before he spits on McMahon.
This was a new coat. Now I gotta explain why it smells like Budweiser.
Tony, of course, faces no repercussions for his actions. One of the cops at the arena owed him a favor. He, AJ, Paulie, and Christopher are hanging out post-show at a diner, Hart's Magic Man playing on the jukebox at the table.
This place, I tell you, best fucking onion rings in the state.
That's what you say every time we come here.
A waitress sets down a basket of onion rings. Tony grabs one.
That's because it's true.
You can't believe you punched Vince McMahon, Tone. Guy's a major player.
In what? In wrestling?
It's the biggest thing on TV.
And I popped him one. So what's that say about me? Hey, Jay, how'd you like the show?
It was okay, I guess.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah.
Come on, you had a great time. Yeah, kid, give me something more.
I can give you 2 words.
And what would those be?
Suck it!
Oh!
Later that evening at the Bada Bang, Christopher and Paulie haul in the last box of merchandise from the truck they jacked. Sil looks at it, somewhat amused.
The fuck's all this? Foam fingers?
I don't know. Jack the truck off the loading dock while they were unloading it.
Lost a couple of boxes off the back, but nothing that's what's inside the rest won't cover.
Well, open it up. I want to see what I missed.
Paulie slices a box open with a box cutter and immediately goes white.
Shit.
Silvio goes to investigate. He looks at the shirt on top of the box and laughs.
It says, always pounding ass on it.
Jesus Christ.
Paulie keeps slicing open boxes, growing further and further dismayed.
They all fucking say that. All of them.
Not all of them, Paulie. This one says Poontang Pie.
Maroon.
What are we going to do with this shit?
We're gonna take this shit out into the woods and burn it, Chrissy.
Not the fucking woods again.
The fucking woods, Christopher.
You two have fun.
Not a fucking word about this, Silvio.
You get that shit out of my club, and I won't say a word.
The three of them nod as Sil turns to head back into the Bing. While Christopher and Paulie silently struggle with their boxes, we cut to credits. The song that plays over them is Vince McMahon's No Chance in Hell.
The end.
That's what you got. That's all I know.
Wow. Yeah, we take 0 credit. That is all Colette.
Great job.
Great
Colette.
job.
Thank
we
you.
hope we were appropriate vessels for your art.
No, that was amazing. I am glad that I got to sit back and watch that. So,
What diner do you think they're at? Is that TikTok?
I'd say Three Brothers. They're coming down Route 3. They're gonna get on 46. It could be TikTok because they might not want to cross the highway, but they got more room to sit and sit.
Not Holston's.
No, you know what it is? Not Holston's. What is the other? There's another one on 46 that's not TikTok. Do you know which one I mean? Well, you know what? We'll save this for the sequel.
Yeah. Please write a sequel.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more TV shows from the late 90s go to WWF events.
I'm surprised at that.
Boy Meets World did it. You know, I in my research for upcoming year in review shows.
Didn't that 70s show go to a wrestling?
Yeah.
And the
Rock was
played
in
his
it.
father.
Yeah.
Rocky Johnson, yeah.
Right.
It was it was The Rock, the Hardy Boys, Tony Atlas, and who's that actor guy, the old 50s guy? He was on the Munsters thing, Darren.
Oh, wait.
Herman something or other. No, that's the name of the character from the
Are you
Munsters.
thinking of the wrestler that was on the Munsters?
Yeah,
Judo Gene LaBelle.
Gene LaBelle. Yeah, he's on that too. Gene LaBelle, who's in like all sorts of bit parts in movies.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of fantasy booking, we're going to end the show with what we like to do every time. We are doing the worst Royal Rumble. It is our fantasy match. It takes place in the Jeddah Thunderdome in the glorious nation of Saudi Arabia. It is WWE's favor to Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And we have every guest pick a new entrant to the match. So, Nick, I'm going to start with you, and I'll tell you what we have in the match so far. Mm-hmm. Currently, 3 of our competitors are being held by Saudi royal forces. Effie, Judy Martin, and Del Close attempted to haul ass and go back to Chicago, and instead are now being held captive for trying to escape. In the ring, we have Leonardo da Vinci, not my pronunciation, Machine Gun Kelly, Ira Glass, Hudson Hawk, Megan the Stallion, and Judge Janine Pirro. Last week, DJ Accident Report added the ghost of Michael Alleg, who, unlike the other dead people in the match, is a ghost. So you know whatever that means, it'll be hard to eliminate. Mm-hmm. Judge Janine Pirro has passed out from drinking too much wine. Hudson Hawk is willing to risk elimination to steal the Mona Lisa. And there seems to be maybe a partnership between Michael Alleg and Megan Thee Stallion. Also, MGK is sort of playing up the twink aspect to curry favor with Michael Alleg, but better watch out because he's not a twink. So, Nick, whose music hits for entrant number 14 in the worst Royal Rumble?
Well, I don't know what song I think it's a he. I don't know if it might be a they. If they might be a they. But my pick is going to be Dobby the Elf from Harry Potter. Does anybody know how Dobby the Elf identifies themselves? I don't know.
Probably not as trans.
Probably.
So you've got this ring full of competitors. How does Dobby fare? Do we have any over the top rope eliminations?
I think. Wait, is Ira Glass still in there?
Ira Glass is still in there. He's been using his droning conversation to put people into a false state of security, but has yet to take advantage of it. Just continues to talk.
Okay, I think Dobby is gonna vomit on Ira Glass. It's gonna disorient him, and then Dobby, Dobby's vomit spell, he's gonna like disembowel Ira Glass.
So does Ira Glass die because he's technically not eliminated?
Well, I guess he does like I don't know if this actually happens in wrestling, but like his like guts are spilling out, and then maybe like he's like the they're like saying like, oh, it looks like his guts are falling out, and then he's crawling to the edge of the ring, but he grabs a stapler and he staples his guts back into his body.
Oh, very much. It's like Sabu closing his wounds.
Exactly.
Ira Glass is hardcore.
Oh, yeah. Wow. All right, deathmatch Ira. Very good.
Yeah, I was gonna say
of this American life. I'll tell you that much.
He seemed like he was maybe going to be the most likely to be eliminated, but I don't know. Now we see what kind of heart he has. He really wants to win this thing.
Oh, you'll see what kind of heart he has.
Okay, Colette, you have entrant number 15. 3, 2, 1. Who's coming out?
InfoWars is Alex Jones.
Oh, wow. Oh, no. Great. Just who we need to put on our social media.
Yeah.
Colette with the win.
Right in the middle. Perfect spot for someone like him to come in.
Now, what is Alex Jones' theme music?
Does InfoWars have a theme song?
It's the theme music from It's the theme music from WCW's The York Foundation.
Someone had to have remixed that diatribe where he was talking about eating people's asses into a song. So I'm gonna say that's his song.
Okay.
And he's like pissed off that they're playing this, like the song that makes fun of him.
Everything about this, from his place in the Rumble to the song, is a conspiracy against him.
Yeah.
I think
I'd say even more than Effie and Judy Martin, he is the most wrestler entrant into this match so far.
Yeah, he's more. I would say he's more of a wrestler than the wrestlers.
Yeah.
He's like housing supplements on his way to the ring. Trying to bulk up at the last minute. There's a lot of skinny people in here, so I think that all of them are going to try to do that spot where they throw the big dude over the top rope together, but they can't because he's massive. He's got a lot of advantages, and when he loses, it'll be a bad day for everyone in America, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is fine because this is taking place in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Who knows what happens to these people once they're eliminated? I'm sure they didn't wince at Ira Glass's exsanguination, disembowelment. I don't know what you call that.
I can't believe we got a bigger fascist than a Mussolini.
Yeah.
Pretty good. This really is the worst Royal Rumble.
I mean, one could guess that there's a natural. Maybe he wakes up Judge Pirro with his guttural screams.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a unit now. So now we're seeing.
Glamour girl Judy Martin is a fabulous moolah truther, so she's probably open to some InfoWars kind of ideas.
Probably, yeah. But now we're seeing people are starting to team up. There's a Megan Thee Stallion, Michael Alec, Machine Gun Kelly kind of group. There's Judge Janine Pirro and Alex Jones. Ira Glass seems like a man unto himself, and Da Vinci and Hudson Hawk. They clearly have an agenda together that they are trying to settle. So stay tuned to Wrestling Club. We'll be adding more people every week up until the week of the actual Royal Rumble, where we'll have a star-studded show filled with special guests, people from the world of wrestling, picking the final entrance of this 30-man match in the Jeddah Thunderdome.
It honestly might be better than this year's Royal Rumble.
I think it is already. I could say that much.
Uh-huh. Right. You're probably right. Yeah, there's no Goldberg in this one.
Yeah. Nick, you got any plugs?
Let's see. Well, I host an Instagram live show called Blu-ray Talk right here from my living room. It's every other Sunday. The next show is next Sunday, and we talk to some of the movie heads of the world, and we talk about Blu-rays, and sometimes it's funny, so you should tune into that. It's on my Instagram at Nick Naney.
And Colette, you've got something titled after Gorilla Monsoon. What is that?
Yeah, I have my first book of poetry is called Hold Me Gorilla Monsoon. I shamelessly stole the title from James Adomian with permission. It's a book that is poems and comic strips about wrestling. I wrote the strips and had an artist to draw them. It's a couple years old at this point, but I'm still very proud of it. I also do a zine called You Have to Deal with Me Breathing, which takes wrestling promos and turns them into kind of standard poetry by transcribing it out and figuring out where the line breaks would be, and kind of examining what happens when you do that.
Oh, that's really cool.
Cool.
Darren, you got your WFMU show. Last week's show was great. It was a 3-hour retrospective of the best of MF Doom, who passed away.
Yeah, I did MF Doom tribute, 3 hours of Doom, a lot of rarities. I played some stuff that I downloaded off of Kazaa that was leaked in 2003. I found that on a hard drive. Yeah. Check it out if you're an MF Doom fan. Definitely. This week will be not that. This week, just doing a regular show. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But so, yeah. And also, speaking of Gorilla Monsoon, I just want to say we should do a Wrestling Club RIP to Gorilla Monsoon's first manager, Bobby Davis. Brett's uncle. Brett's
My
uncle.
I will continue my streak of having nothing to plug. But you did mention James Adomian. I did a podcast with James where I was Andre the Giant and he was Slavoj Žižek, which I just remembered. It kind of fits in with the worst Royal Rumble. Žižek could make an appearance in this match.
It was great. I've listened to it. It's great, but I would also describe it as incoherent.
Yeah, it's just stuttering and lisp and screaming and and then like lots of praxis and etc. So check all that stuff out. Thanks everybody for joining the wrestling club this week. Yeah, I hope you have a good one. Darren, take us out.
All right, for Brett, I'm Darren. For Nick, this is Wrestling Club. Be back next week. Bye.
Bye.